Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. A quick reminder of our top stories now. The United Nations General Assembly opens in New York. Pope Francis cautions against environmental degradation. Says the harm done to the environment is the harm done to humanity. President Muhammad Buhari speaks from New York, expresses shock over tragic incident in Saudi Arabia where some Nigerians died performing the pilgrimage. Over 200 terrorists surrendered to Nigerian army at border town of Banki in Borno state. Governor Adams Oshomole and former Bayelsa State Governor Primaries Silva trade words over controversial APC primary in Yenagoa. Do remember that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. When you're done downloading, we do urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows platforms. If you've got pictures or videos to share with us, simply tap on the Channels TV app on your device. Swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Call it the biggest Boko Haram surrender to the Nigerian army, and you may not be wrong. Some 200 members of the Boko Haram sect have given themselves up to the Nigerian army. The fighters are said to have handed themselves over to the town of Banki on the border with Cameroon. The military earlier said that the town had been recaptured from Boko Haram, but there is no independent confirmation. Some 17,000 people are said to have been killed in the 6 years insurgency, mainly in northern Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Nigerian troops say that they have indeed captured the economic and strategic town of Banki in Borno state. It is important to note that major economic and trading activities between Nigeria and Cameroon and the Central African countries takes place in this town. A statement issued by the acting director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, says that the soldiers also destroyed 7 Boko Haram camps and successfully detonated 7 improvised explosive devices. According to him, several Boko Haram terrorists were killed and others captured alive between Banki Junction and Ngorosoi. All residents of Omoko and Obrikom, 2 communities in River State, have fled their homes after a cult clash which reportedly lasted for 2 days. Eyewitnesses' accounts say that both communities are now ghost towns after the attack, which left 7 people dead in Omoko and 6 others in Obrikom. Confirming the incident, the police public relations officer in the state, DSP Ahmed Mohammed, says that the River State Police Command has deployed 19 mobile policemen and 56 conventional police officers from Port Harcourt to restore order in the affected areas. He also confirmed that the River State Command is currently on the trail of the warring parties, reiterating its resolve to rid the state of criminals. And today in Yobe State, a police constable fatally shot 2 police inspectors and then himself at the Nengere Police Division in Nengere town. The culprit, Ibrahim Musa, was being booked for insubordination by his superiors when he seized a rifle and the counter and shot the 2 inspectors at close range before shooting himself. Confirming the incident, the State Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Zana Ibrahim, said that the constable first shot Inspector Muhammad Musa before firing Inspector Ishaku Allen, who was taking the entry into the defaulters registry. He thereafter shot himself. According to the Commissioner of Police, Constable Ibrahim Musa was taken to the hospital but died while receiving treatment at the Potiskum General Hospital. The 2 inspectors have been buried. The police commissioner also said that the subject will be tried posthumously as the case is currently being investigated and mechanisms are being put in place to prevent a recurrence. Allegations and counter-allegations continue to trail the outcome of the Bayelsa State APC primaries. One of the aspirants, Primaries Silva, is accusing the chairman of the APC Electoral Committee and Edo State Governor, Mr. Adams Oshomole, of bias. Governor Oshomole, on his part, says that Silva may have to prove the allegations in court if he insists.
The controversy surrounding the APC governorship primary election in Bayelsa State is yet to abate, with one of the aspirants, Timipre Silva, accusing the chairman of the committee, Adams Oshomole, of being responsible for the botched election as a result of his poor handling of the exercise. But Governor Oshomole denies this, saying the atmosphere he met on arrival at the venue was not conducive for any meaningful exercise.
The prospect of wasting another day or waiting for another day to be fixed for these primaries, I'm sure, overwhelmed the crowd. So the crowd, and I was with him when that happened. So he should have known that I did not instigate that at all.
He said, well, if we are saying we're not doing, nobody's going to go. Then they spoke their language, the people came in again. And they started shouting. So I said, okay, Silva. And of course, they are threatening, they are firing gunshots around the stadium.
Governor Oshomole also alleged that he was held hostage at the venue of the polls by thugs suspected to be loyal to Timipre Silva. Again, Mr. Silva counters this.
And I said, Silva, let me ask you one question publicly. Am I now kidnapped? And what is the ransom I need to pay to get out of here? He said, no, what he's just saying is that we should do the election. The people just want election. I said, so I should do the election outside the rules in order to regain my freedom? I spoke with the Chief of Defense Staff and others. They called them, and they called the GTF commander who came with full military escort. They were able to escort me out of the location. By the time I landed in Benin, the secretary called me that he wanted to leave. The police said he can't go. He should go and do what Silva asked him to do.
So I probably kidnapped them, or maybe threatened the 6 other members as well. But only he, Adams Oshomole, governor, quickly absconded and went about screaming. Whereas he didn't do anything about the other people that were left behind. I'm just saying this just to tell you that that couldn't have been farther from the truth.
One thing Mr. Silva says was evident in Governor Oshomole's action at the venue was that he came to Yenagua with a clear agenda, which was to get him out of the race at all cost. But the governor waves this off.
What I take from there, from the whole incident, is that first and foremost, Governor Oshomole had some intentions that I don't know. He had no intention to conduct the primaries.
So, but if you keep making those word allegations, I may have to find a way to get him to prove them in court. Because I don't know what he is bringing to the table. But what I brought to governors in Edo State is not tons of money. It's my name.
The governor has opted to step down as chairman, but says that at least 2 governors and a neutral AIG be appointed by the IG to conduct the Bayelsa primaries to ensure the free and fair exercise.
The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Ibeka Chukwu, says that he would have sold all the refineries but for the intervention of the president. He told journalists in Lagos that the refineries are mostly producing at 30% capacity, whereas he would have wished that they were producing at least 60%. He lamented the fact that the refineries had obsolete equipment as a result of their age, but adds that his vision of making the corporation run like a company is refocusing the refineries. He told journalists today that as from tomorrow, the Nigerian army will begin the monitoring of the nation's pipelines, beginning with the one at Arepo area of Ogun State. He warned Nigerians against vandalizing pipelines, saying that it is the collective wealth of the nation. The Eid al-Kabir celebrations are being marked with a lot of festivities, but that's not the case in some rural communities like Dutton Al-Haji, a satellite town in the Federal Capital Territory. Some of the residents told Channels Television that because of the present economic situation in the country, they have cut down on the spendings and spending the holiday on a low key. Our correspondent Linda Akibe reports.
This is Dusin Alaji, a satellite town in the Federal Capital Territory. Dusen Alaji has a huge Muslim population, and we drive into the community to see how they are celebrating Salah. Our first port of call is the home of the Harunas, a newly married couple who are celebrating Salah. For Mr. Haruna, this year's Salah celebration is a low-key one.
I prefer stay in this year because in fact there's no money to celebrate, to go out. There's no money this year, I can say.
So compared to
last year, last year was so booming than this one anyway.
What is responsible for there being no money? What's the problem?
In fact, I can't. Either is the change that come in. I don't know. There's no money in circulation. I can see. There's no money. That's what I know. Yesterday, although it was raining everywhere yesterday anyway, so they didn't allow us to go to the mosque on time. So after the raining, we went to mosque. Then we'll come back. People that has ram, they killed. So we started the celebrations this yesterday.
Mrs. Haruna tells us that the economic challenges they face is further worsened by the hike in the price of foodstuff just a few days to the Salah holiday.
Well, the price of the things in the market were a little bit higher due to Salah celebration. But thank God we're able to afford some things. Depends on the places that you went to buy your own things. Like the price of tomatoes were a little bit higher than before.
Outside the home of the Harunas, we meet with a Muslim faithful who explained to us the significance of the Salah celebration.
Salah means celebration among Muslim youth, and it also means strengthen Islamic fraternal relationship among Muslims, so that in order for them to ensure actual rejuvenation of togetherness and peaceful coexistence.
As we leave Dusen Alaji, some residents are still bent on enjoying the remaining hours of a Salah holiday in whichever way they can, in spite of the economic challenges confronting the country. Linda Akibi, Channels Television News.
And when the News at 10 returns, the chief executive officers of institutions making up the National Association of Security Dealers meet next month. Join us again